Hold it now. Yo, what up? What up, Avishai? How you doing?
Avishai, yeah, exactly. Avishai, yeah, that's
He
good.
said
That's good.
lekker. Huh? Mr. Netherlands.
Exactly.
How you doing today, man? I'm super excited about this interview, by the way, and it still says metal on there. I'll remove that for you.
Oh, okay.
Because you're not metal on, you're Avishai.
I'm a no, no.
Tell me,
Yeah,
tell the listeners about yourself. Go ahead and introduce yourself. And
yeah. So I've been living in Amsterdam for about 15 years now. I'm originally from Israel, but I left Israel in like 2009. Actually, I was in New York before that, and then I moved to the Netherlands.
Okay.
I'm a pianist, composer, arranger, producer. I also have my own podcast, and yeah, I do everything that has to do with music, and I love interviewing people also. So it's nice to be on the other end.
Nice.
For,
I haven't experienced that too much. I'm always on this side. So I have to come over onto your podcast. Let's start with the podcast. Tell me about your podcast and what.
Oh, sure.
How do you?
Well,
Go ahead.
yeah. No, so the thing is, I had, um, I'm an avid listener of podcasts myself. So
Okay.
it's like, and actually, funny enough, I don't listen to a lot of like podcasts about music. I listen to a lot of comedy
Okay.
podcasts, and I felt that I could really, like the experience that I got at least from that was that I could really get to know more about the people through that like medium. And then it was like actually, I think a year in a process that I just wanted to really do a podcast myself here in Amsterdam with all the music scene here and the artist scene here. And I kind of like procrastinated constantly, and finally I just set up two iPhones and like a mic, and it worked. And then later on, the producer came, Joao, and he brought like all the equipment. I'm saying that just made the whole thing
Easier.
just look way better.
Right.
Like completely different scale, you know, of
Mhm.
operations in that sense.
And do you are you alone or do you have a co-host?
I'm by myself.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just ask a bunch of like I have like fixed questions.
Nice.
It's with musicians fixed questions, but that's what I like also about working with Joao is that he just brings guests. He also books guests,
Mhm.
and he brings a bunch of people that I would never get a chance to talk to otherwise.
Cool.
And like we just had a batch of podcasts because we do like 4 a day,
Mhm.
so we can just release them per week. So we meet once a month and we do like 4 at one go. And we had like Illustrator, we had a music, electronic music artist. We had another artist that is like making art with running, which was insane. And then another musician. So it's very varied. You know, it's like a mix of a lot of guests and like different type of disciplines.
Mhm.
So it's cool. It's very refreshing to do that. I
And
gotta say.
what made you start doing it? Was it like what made you decide I want to start doing a podcast?
I felt that there wasn't enough knowledge about the real art scene in Amsterdam from let's say a non like commercial channel. I
Got you.
mean like
Yeah, no,
the
I understand
news
that.
or a magazine or podcasts. They just it becomes you're just sitting with your friends with just a bunch of mics
Right.
and you're talking to them and some great moments come out of it.
Yeah.
And that's something that I felt that was missing like in the scene here in Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to give like an answer to that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the great things about it, especially with friends and people you know, is that you get to you get to hear opinions from people that you didn't know that they had that might differ from yours, or you find community and people that agree with with your opinions that you might have. That's one of the cool
Absolutely,
things about it.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think it's also like I did take it from also from the whole comedy
Mm-hmm.
renaissance I call it that I see now that is
Yeah.
happening States. Like it's just a specific like type of group of people that are really create a platform through podcasting. They create a
Mm-hmm.
platform through using social media, which is eventually, we want to have this independence. We want to have our own audience. I'm a
Yeah.
musician myself also, so it's like I realized that it's a lot about building audience, building like this following, building people that are willing to invest their time and efforts to see what you're doing,
Right.
um, to be sustained with their help.
Right.
You know what I mean? Buying
Yeah.
tickets, buying merch,
For sure.
whatever it is.
For sure. All right, that's a great way to segue into the music, you being a musician. And then also you mentioned set questions. There's a couple of set questions that I have for musicians because I find the process of making music super interesting. And what I've found is that no two artists seem to do it the same. So I'll ask you, what's your process when it comes to making music? Do you have the music idea already in your head that fit the lyrics that you've written, or do you hear the music first and then write to it? And then your process once you get in the studio to record music.
Right. Okay, so actually now I'm going to record next week my first solo album, solo
Okay.
piano compositions that I wrote. So it's good, like it comes right in the trajectory of what you're asking now. For instance, for this particular album, because it varies,
Mm-hmm.
it varies. And I'll start, let's say, from the compositional aspect. If it's like a series of compositions that I just want to record and put on tape,
Mm-hmm.
bring out, usually what I do is that either I have some deal with a label in that sense,
Mm-hmm.
and like I need to have something concrete. You
Gotcha.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I need to have something that it's like it puts me in a situation where I'm obliged to go through the project because it puts like some kind of pressure on me
Got you.
that brings out that like spark, you
Got you.
know?
Yeah, yeah. I got to get
Otherwise,
this
I'm,
done, yeah.
or yeah, like, it has, it needs
Or I got to
to have
return all of this money.
it has to have repercussions. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's what I mean.
Right, right, right. Okay.
Or like I'm in a debt, or like I'm fixing an album, or I'm like in problem.
Right.
But that's like an incentive that you realize as a professional also that that's like it's just a real incentive. It
Right.
has this like, at least for me, it has
Wait, one second. I'm sorry. I have a question about that.
sure, sure.
Does that have you ever made music without that kind of pressure, and do you feel like that changes the music you make at all? Like does it
Well,
affect the music in any way?
I'll tell you what.
Because I feel like
I always
sometimes when
wanted
I
to make music.
procrastinate on a project and I wait till the last minute to work on it, sometimes it can come out much better than had
Yeah.
I taken my time. So that's why I ask.
Yeah, I think I read it somewhere. I can't remember from who the quote is. Brilliance is found when there is a good plan but not enough time.
That's a
That's like,
beautiful quote. That's a beautiful
yeah, I
quote.
read it somewhere. I can't remember where I read it, but it's like it's so true. Good plan, but not enough time to execute it, then something brilliant will just come out of it. And so, of course, in the beginning, when I start to, well, that's what I also wanted to stress on that. Oh, babe, can you?
So
Yeah.
the statement, brilliance is
So,
found when there's a good plan but no time, is a paradox or a statement that highlights the importance in both strategic planning and timely execution. It suggests having a brilliant idea and a plan with not enough time. We know what it means. Who said it? I was trying to find out who said it real quick, but it's not popping up. It's just giving us what
yeah,
it means. But
chat
yeah,
chat GPT there.
exactly. I'm not sure what you
Not,
want, but here's some information. Yeah, that's how it works. But anyway, yeah, it's a great quote. First
yeah, it's
time
great.
I'm
Yeah.
hearing it, and I'm
I mean, I
definitely
can
going to
smoke
repeat it.
here, right? There's no
Yeah, of
like,
course, of course. And thank you for doing it. Now that makes me comfortable enough to finish rolling mine. I've been smoking the whole
Hopefully,
show, but sometimes I try to. Maybe I shouldn't
no,
smoke on this one.
you're among friends, man. You're among
Nice.
friends.
Well, let's
No, no,
chill.
you're
Let's chill
among
and smoke and talk more about this music.
absolutely. So,
More
so
into the process.
yeah, exactly. So the process. So the thing is that, um, look, since a young age, when I started to compose, and actually I didn't start with the piano or let's say chamber music or jazz
Hmm.
or whatever it is. I started actually with producing psychedelic trance, meaning that I learned the software Cubase, and I took some lessons in like producing. I was 11 back then, and I was like this little kid, this
Right.
and I was working with a computer, and I saved money, and I remember, and like I had to work and like gather that money and get like a little computer and a little studio, and I started to work with VSTs, virtual instruments, and
Hmm.
um, started to work with Cubase, and I produced psychedelic trance. But when I realized that the effect that music had on me, I wanted to share that with other people. So I wanted to create something myself that will invoke this feeling also with other people.
Hmm.
So so it ended up being like this thing of I have to share it with the outside world, and to share it with the outside world is that metaphysical question of art of why is it needed, right?
Right.
Why do we even need to share art with people? And that's something that makes the whole process of it with a little bit more urgency. So what I'm trying to say, I hope I'm not like
No.
I'm
No.
with
Keep.
what you're
Please.
saying, is that when there is this urgency, it creates a different type of art. It's not self-indulgent. It's of service of others.
Hmm.
If it's too much, if let's say there are no restrictions and there are no deadlines, there's no like I want to even I'm saying like something small. I wrote a small piece on a piano and I want to be able to play it for my parents, for instance.
Hmm.
I want to perform it. I'm responsible for their experience, you know. And if I want to be responsible for their experience, I need it to be good. And what does that mean to be good? That it's executed well, flawlessly, that it's rounded, that it's thought after, that I feel like that I've accomplished something when I finish that. That when you put these factors into consideration, what we create as artists has like a different type of weight because mm, there is like do you know the Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, the book?
Yes. 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 Yes.
So there's a great intro there. You can ask ChatGPT to just give you the first page, and it says the artist is a creator of beautiful things. All autobiography is no all criticism is a form of autobiography, like beautiful sentences, and then at the end he says all art in essence is useless. You know,
Okay.
meaning that functioning it's not functioning in the way. Can you pull it up
Yeah.
maybe?
Sure. What am I asking again?
Like Oscar
Oscar
Wilde,
Wilde.
the Picture of Dorian Gray,
Oh yeah.
opening notes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that it's like um, is that we are a part of like a very timely experience of people, especially with music.
Hmm.
And if you don't take it, I think as an artist, like the gratitude behind it of wow, this is what you're doing to be able to give that to people and have it sustain your life or whatever it is that you're doing, then it has a different type of urgency to it, meaning that it's like it's being created from a different place. So when you ask me if I ever created something without that pressure, I think that I always looked for it, to be honest,
You
like that
always
type of
needed that
pressure.
pressure there.
Yeah, a little bit, just a little bit of like a nudge, a
Gotcha.
nudge towards to. It's not like pressure is a big word, but it's more like nudging me towards doing that. So if I go to the solo piano album that I have now,
Uh huh.
I started writing the pieces uh, like 12, 13 years ago, you know. But I I understand that like in a career of a pianist, we want to share at some point with people like what is our voice with the piano as a composer and pianist.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it took me like even, yeah, you know, I'm playing piano now for about 22, 23 years. And um, I only now feel that I can write for piano after with all the experience that I have for music and all
Mm-hmm.
this. So it's a very long process in that sense.
Right.
And what happened is that the work with the label, Treptic, that are, you know, they're like in this like really beautiful boutique label that brings out amazing classical music and like avant-garde. And they gave me a carte blanche, and I said, okay, I want to really record this solo piano album, and then also then it put the challenge. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The challenge has to be there because
Something, not necessarily pressure, but yeah, I get it. I get it. The well, challenge is probably the better word. You found it. Challenge challenges you to do better.
yeah, absolutely. And the challenge is also like in the sense of uh, you know, my name is attached to it,
Yeah,
and be good.
you want
Like,
it to be good. Yeah. I
and
found the preface of the, and I'll read it. I'll try to get through it quickly.
yeah,
It's about 3 paragraphs, but I'll get through it quickly. The artist is the creator of beautiful things. To reveal art and conceal the art is art's aim. The critic is he who can translate into another manner or a new material his impression of beautiful things. The highest as the lowest form of criticism is the mode of autobiography. Those who find ugly meanings in beautiful things are corrupt without being charming. This is a fault. Those who find beautiful meaning in beautiful things are the cultivated. For these there is hope. That's that. I like that. There are the elect. They are the elect to whom beautiful things mean only beauty. There is no such thing as moral or or as an immoral book. Books are well written and or badly written. That is all. The 19th century dislike of realm is the rage, or of realism is the rage of Caliban seeing his own face in a glass. The 19th century dislike of romanticism is the rage of Caliban uh, not seeing his own face in a glass. The moral life of man forms part of um, the subject matter of the artist, but the morality of art consists in the perfect use of an imperfect medium. No artist desires to prove anything, even things that are true can be proven. No artist as ethical sympathies and ethical sympathy. And the artist is as unparad what the fuck unpardonable mannerisms of style. No artist is ever morbid. The art. Oh, okay, I get it now. The artist can express everything. Thought and language are to the artist instruments of the art. Vice and virtue are the artist materials of an art. Okay. Form the point of view. It's almost done. Sorry, one more paragraph left. From the point of view of view. Wait, from the point of view of form, the type of all art is the art of the musician. From the point of view of feeling, the actor's craft is the type. All art is at once surface a symbol. Those who go beneath the surface do so at their own peril. Um, those who read the symbol do so at their own peril. It is a specter. It is the spectator and not life. The art really mirrors the art really mirrors. Diversity of opinion about work of art shows that the work is new, complex, and virtue. Oh, I'm sorry, new, complex, and vital. Um, when critics disagree, the artist is in accord with himself. We can forgive a man for making a useful thing as long as he does not admire it.
Oh, yeah.
The only excuse for making a useless thing is that one admires it intensely. All art is quite useless. Oscar Wilde.
Yes.
Okay, so it was a lot, but it's there were some really important things in there, and I get why you refer to it now.
Yeah. It's exactly what he said the last two,
Right.
You can only create something useless when you can admire it, and that's the thing. That's what he meant with all art is quite useless, because it's not, your car breaks down, you can't play the song, and it's
right, right.
It's like your pianistic skills are not helping if I need to fix the roof. No.
Okay.
But at the same time, like it has a need, and then when you are in that situation where this is what you're going to do with your life, you gotta make it like with urgency. So that's what.
Okay, so now that you have the composition written, and you're going into the studio to now record this, what's the process like once you enter the door of the studio? Are there certain rituals that you do before starting the recording, or is it just all business and get the recording done?
No. So in this particular case, I'm by myself. There are two compositions that I'm doing with a cello. Also, she's coming to record the first day. The studio, it's a very special place because it's a farm of someone that he converted it into a high-end studio. So he has this. Hello?
Yeah, you're here. You're just a little frozen, but you're good. I still hear you.
Okay, cool. So the guy converted the farmhouse into a high-end studio, and he has an amazing instrument there also, and you can sleep there, and you can cook there. There's a kitchen, fully cooked kitchen. It's really like this perfect experience that you need, at least for me, that I need to record something like this, because I need to be isolated and just focus with the project. Because it takes a lot of focus and energy, and it's a different type of focus.
Right.
So the studio, the first day, what we do is we're going to come the night before, and we're going to set up everything so we can start recording in the morning. So we sleep the night, we wake up. Usually what I do, because I need to get my body in balance, so I do like a yoga session, and then I go for a run.
Okay.
I do some, if I want some pranayama exercise, which is breathing exercises, just to get like the nervous system in check.
Madeline suggested that to me earlier. I got to put that into my list. But yes, continue.
Sure. I mean, because the stretching, that's the thing. Like it's the stretching just prepares the body for the run, and then the jaw, the body's already like calibrated a bit. Synovial fluids are like running. It's like everything is just open, and then the body can just take that. Let's say that friction with the ground, with the bones like stacking up on each other. So it's and then I'm like, I sweat, I get my cardio, and then like a lot of bullshit is out of my system in that sense. Like stress, thoughts, this, I got back to the body.
Nice.
And then we're going to basically probably check the music before. Like the cellist, she got the two compositions that I sent her. We're going to record them. We're going to check which composition we're going to record. We're going to go through it a couple of times, get through the interpretation of it, how it needs to sound musically, and then just record. And we're filming it as well, because nowadays, without the thing being registered, like without having any video of your work in music, funny enough, you're just not gonna. It will be practically impossible to promote it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
On a high end level, it will
Right.
be like to theaters, and you want to sell your music. It needs to be high end, like it needs to be very high quality content that you can
Hmm.
put out there to be able to sell tickets for your concert or to promote your album. I mean, the visual aspect is integral right now. You know?
I'm so glad you said that, because as a movie maker, that was one of the things that I struggled with, and I'm sure any of the musicians or producers listening to you now, they needed to hear that. That's very important that you understand that when making your music, in order to market it and sell it, you need to kind of do some behind the scenes recordings, video.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
That's why it's interesting because what happened is that the majority of marketing and yeah, I put it on marketing, like in the connection, in the, let's say, the imperative connection that it has to the algorithm
Hmm.
that is happening right now on social media. So basically, the algorithm is aggregates actually all the possibilities that we had before, meaning that um, if you want to run an ad like in the old times, you would have to run it through magazines, you would have to run it through like posters in the street.
Right.
Still doing it, but you can get the same effect using social
Social
media and
media. Yeah.
the Meta Business Suite. I personally worked with someone that was like a magician when she was doing it, really, for me. And great company, amazing what they did there. And um, what I learned from this whole thing is that that had a direct effect on actually also the success of being able to sell tickets, meaning that if you have high quality content and you have a strategy behind it, and of course the product needs to be good. It's not just the content itself. The product needs to be good. The music needs to be written well. All these stuff needs to be produced properly. Um, sorry, I'm
No
being
worries. It's
distracted
no
here.
worries. No, we're chilling. We're chilling. Like you
Just do
said,
that.
it's good. My wife just came in and was throwing shit at me and stuff too. I was able to fake it off. Don't worry.
So, um, where was I?
Just talking about the process and
Right. Anyway, so let me get back to
closer. That's a word I know. Sorry.
that's hilarious. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
That's funny.
That's so funny. Anyway, so getting back to getting back to the advertisement and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, so that had a direct effect on what people need to do right now to promote their music. And anyone with not a crazy budget of thousands and thousands of dollars in marketing budget
Hmm.
can actually get to quite a lot of people. But that means that you need to have content to be able to promote, and
Right.
just strips of sound are not
No.
enough.
No.
They're not enough. And it's like you can do strategies, but the cover, you could do it, and you can make it a little bit animated,
Right.
but the visual aspect is integral right now with any type of anyone being on social media in any type of way.
Right.
Actually,
Right.
this is the content that we're making right now is visual also.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And it'll go a long way. That's what people don't understand also, is that not only when you're live, but you record it, it goes even further than the live.
Yeah,
And then even when you're live, the most social media will leave your live there so people can go back watch it later. And you never know. The numbers don't really matter to me. I do track my numbers and I promote my numbers, but they don't really matter to me, because you could have five, but that one is the important one. That, especially when
true.
you're doing, when you're doing the kind of content that I make and you're trying to network, you're only trying to reach the one that you're trying to network with, really. You know,
Yeah.
only when
Yeah.
I'm doing the radio stuff and I'm promoting for people do I really care about the numbers, because I want to promote them to as many people as I can. But when I'm
Yeah.
doing something trying to network, you don't need thousands of people watching.
No. No. Oh, I understand what you mean. Like,
Yeah.
how many people are watching this now? Do you know?
I don't know at the exact moment, because it takes a moment before it showed up, but it's been thousands daily, and it's been a couple of hundred, every in and out, and then like maybe 20 people who are like the whole time. Like one person yesterday put in the chat that they watched the whole day,
The
so
whole day. Wow.
like 12 hours of me doing just sitting here.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Um,
But and then
yeah.
also one more thing I'll say is that we're broadcasting to so many different locations, so you got to kind of do
Yeah.
some math, some quick maths.
I hear you, man.
But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
but I've done it so many times. And the last time I did it about 6 years ago, I was in the Netherlands. My highest amount of numbers was 750,000 in the 80-hour broadcast. 750,000 uh,
750,000.
original IP addresses. So that's not, two people in one house counts as one. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah, that was 6 years ago, and I took a little break. But if I had to guess what I'll get in total over this 80 hours, I guarantee over 10,000. And I'm hoping to break 100,000.
So you're not taking a break. You're just broadcasting for 80
Straight,
hours.
80 hours straight, no breaks. The only breaks I did take a 1 hour break last night when I was playing some music. I took a little power nap. That's it.
Yeah, man, I hear you. It's like, yeah, I'm throwing Oscar Wilde at you. You know, 19th century English.
Exactly, and I'm like, oh, I'm trying to get through it. No, it's good information though, and this is the reason why I do this. The 80 hours is the gimmick. It's like,
Yeah,
holy shit, let's see if he does it. I want
yeah,
to catch him sleeping. That kind of thing. I get a lot of that. I'm also doing remind me to ask you about this mystery box before I let you go, because I'm supposed to be using the guests to help the listeners guess what's in this box, but
sure.
we'll do that at the end. But
Wow.
yeah, it's a process. This whole 80 hours thing is a process, but the gimmick is the 80 hours. The real true nature is to promote the independent artists and everybody that I've talked
Right.
to promote them, and in turn, I'm promoting myself. I'm promoting my station and myself. So it's not all for you. It's even. It's a give and take relationship happening right now.
Yeah.
I give you the promotion absolutely free. You get to talk. We get to, everybody gets to learn who you are. Then people will start searching your social media, and in turn, the people who are watching, because I'm sure everyone has told their local network, hey, I'm going to be on this station. Now people know about this station. Now people know about me and what I do. So it's give and take. And then I can also, if I wanted to monetize it, I could have taken more time to reach out to sponsors, but I kind of started getting, I got a little nervous towards the start, where I was like, I haven't done it in so long. The radio station hasn't been up. I'm scared that things might go wrong, and I don't want to have sponsors tuned in. And so I kind of wanted to see how it goes first, and then I'll do it again if I.
I understand, man. It's like,
It's scary. It's a scary process to do this, because you want it to be super successful, but at the same time, you don't want to look stupid. You know what I mean?
And nowadays it seems like if you need to make yourself a bit stupid if you want to go viral.
Right. Yeah, you kind of have to do something outlandish, and it's
But
unfair.
it's also amplified. Like it seems like, yeah, there's just so much content out there, but at the
Right.
same time, the same one gets to
It's
a lot of.
saturated. It's saturated content. As soon as something goes viral, everybody who's a content creator does that same content.
Yeah, it's like my algorithm is I see like a new dance trend or something. I'm like, why is it even on my? I don't follow these things even.
Yeah.
It's like I'm like was like, why is it? And then like
Well,
I
here's the
passed.
thing that is people are using those trends for marketing now. So even if you're not a dancer, you can do the dance trend to market what you're doing. So in the middle of me trying to sell my product, I do the dance trend to get you to come over to my page and scroll to see the other trends I did, but now you're seeing my products.
Wow.
So
Huh,
that's a
interesting. Wow.
technique as well.
It's all really just interesting, this attention economy.
Yeah,
It's like,
you'll see politicians doing these dance trends, trying to be trying to connect with the kids. So they'll do dance trends, looking silly.
yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, more to this music because I'm excited, and I think I got you for another 10 minutes or so here, and I
Sure.
really I was excited to talk to you about this music and your accomplishments as well. But this time is flying by.
Right, right,
But
right, right.
with the little time that we have left, can we talk more about your accomplishments with music and what your goals are for the future?
Sure, sure, sure. So, my accomplishments, let's see.
I,
Well, I
I
started,
wanted to say you have awards or you were nominated for an Academy Award or
I
something.
was, no, no, I was considered for a Grammy. I was
Grammy, that's what it
considered,
was. Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, I was considered for, I was like in the short list, yeah, like
Okay,
the first, yeah.
still that's an
And then
amazing accomplishment for an
it's cool,
artist. So
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, no, no, it's really like, it's amazing that it's possible,
for sure.
and I met a lot of people through that, and it's a community, it's really a peer-to-peer thing. The Grammys, it's a very serious
Yeah,
organization, takes also what they do very seriously,
yeah,
and it's really like, and it's not a popularity thing. It's not, of course, people that have more draw in the industry are being looked at differently, but it's also, you don't need to have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of streams already,
right.
to be able to actually be considered for a nomination. So, it's really about quality. They
Mhm.
check everything. There are like 13,000 voting members, I
Holy
think, and then
shit.
it gets
Okay.
shorter and shorter, and becomes like smaller and smaller. But it's like people from all over the world, and they go through pretty rigorous, like, let's say it, oversight. The checks that everything that they're doing is legit and not getting any money for that, because a nomination for a Grammy, or a Grammy in that sense, can change someone's life or career in
Yes,
that
for
sense.
sure.
And
Good and
so
bad, by the
I
way.
studied. I mean, huh? Sorry.
Good. I was saying good and bad, by the way. I've heard that the Grammy could go as a curse as well. Is that true?
I mean, I think it really depends on the artist.
Oh,
I think it
okay.
depends, like, in the sense of what is the artist doing with that, afterwards. I mean, I never won it, so I don't know how it feels, but I
Right.
can imagine, because it's every year.
Right.
At some point, it just becomes something that you did,
Right.
and what is important is that what is it that you're doing right now, and like what is the work that you're bringing out right now,
Right.
and um, I think it's probably, I'm assuming, because I never won it, but that it's an amazing feeling for that moment, and to feel validated, and within the community, and
Yeah, for
the
sure.
appreciation and the
Your
recognition
peers.
by your peers. Exactly, it's what it is, and
Hmm.
because of that, it can just push you to create more, and to be more a part of this community of artists. um, but also, it shouldn't be the reason, so
No,
it's one of these things. It's tricky, because that really goes into like career thing,
for
you
sure.
know it's like, it's strategic, and you understand, like, that if you win
Yes.
it, that means that, and you don't just stumble upon it,
Right.
you have to take action. So it means that there's like an agenda there. I understand that when actually the music starts from a very pure place, with a lot of us musicians or artists, it comes from you just want to make music and want to share it with people.
For sure. For sure. You're not really
Uh,
thinking about the business side as much.
no, and I feel that this is like, yeah, this is something that people are more aware of right now, and I hope it's being taught more in schools. I don't know, in conservatories or like music schools. I don't know
I
how
don't know
how
about now, but I know when I was growing up, it was heavily.
really,
Yeah,
huh?
I don't know
Okay,
about now.
yeah, I don't know, I don't know, and um, it's I just had this conversation on the podcast. It depends on the department also of the music, and
Mm-hmm.
like the classical, the jazz, they put less emphasis on like the business part, but let's say more pop and electronic music, they understand that this is like integral to
Mm-hmm.
a success of an artist, the business one. Um, so I would love to win it, and I would love to feel that feeling, but that it's not going to be the reason that I'm
No,
making
no,
like
that would be a mistake to make it the reason,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah, and I think it's really important. Like if like I feel it now that it's going to be the I think it's number 18, album number 18 that I was
Wow.
either being a part of the production or composed or played on.
Okay.
So I have like 18 published, not under my name, but like also different groups.
Right, that you worked with.
Yeah. Can I have a lighter, man? You have a lighter? You took my lighter.
Yes.
Oh, right. Um, and it's the first time that I'm going like, wow, I feel good. I know it's going to be like tough. I'm
Right.
saying
Right.
because to record piano is extremely energy like consuming in the sense that there is no instrument that I'm. Can I have the lighter? You took it.
Give up the lighter, Madelon.
There's a lighter. It's like 2 hours. 2 hours later. Can I have the lighter? It's fine.
Right.
Anyway, so the thing is that I'm really looking forward to that feeling, of like sitting in front of the piano, recording these pieces, planning it, being completely immersed in that. That's what I love about it. It's like we gotta get this done. There's this feeling of like this has to be done, like not like in a heavy way, but more this is our time to make this happen, and all of our efforts like are just been funneled to this moment, and we're just going to do our best and make this happen and create this piece of art.
Right.
And funny enough, like every time that I am busy with a new record, I feel always this like excitement. This is going to be the one that is going to reach as many people as possible and create a change, like positive change in with music,
Right.
with
Yeah.
people. Yeah, so let's see. I think it's great. I really believe in it.
Yeah. Fingers crossed for you, and can't wait to see the progress from today moving forward.
Yeah, yeah, man. Me too. Me
Yeah.
too.
So a couple of things I wanted to ask you were what's the main differences in general, and then also music wise versus where you're from in Israel versus Holland, and then you also said you lived in New York for a while. Did you?
Yeah,
What
for
was
a
the
year.
music scene like, in the difference in all three of those locations, and then also just in general living there?
Yeah, wow. Okay, so the music scene in Israel, it's small. It's a small place,
Okay.
but there's a lot of talent and a lot of people that work really hard and that they know and Israeli musicians, they're known for traveling,
What's
to very
the genre? What genre would you say? Is it
jazz,
jazz?
jazz,
Okay.
really,
Okay.
really like jazz, and jazz is very strong in Israel.
Okay.
Like a lot of really good jazz musicians are coming out of Israel, and it's just there's a strong community there, and
Who
people
can I?
take
Is
this
there
music
any
very
names
seriously.
off the top of your head that I could search?
Yeah, Avishai Cohen. He's like we have the same name, Avishai, and then last name Cohen. Is very good. And you have two of them. You have like a bass player and you have a trumpet player with
Mm-hmm.
the same name.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have um, also, let me see, in Europe, for instance, Omer Klein. Omer Klein is great.
Klein like little, spelled
Yeah,
the same
exactly.
way.
Klein. Yeah, Omer Klein. Yeah, in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
You have Omer Avital, also great.
And O'Meal spelled the same way like Emil Klein.
Omer, yeah, it's Omer. Yeah, Omer.
Oh, okay. And what was his last name? I'm sorry.
Avital,
Avital. Avital.
Avital,
Yep.
Omer
Got it.
Avital. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'll try to play some. I'll play some of
Yeah,
those.
once you get into that, it's like you'll see a lot of other musicians that are very much connected to it. Yeah,
Comment
and
just came in that Guy J, techno DJ, very big name.
oh, Guy J, yeah,
Yeah.
Guy J. He's he
Shout
was
out
at our
to
house
Marco.
giving a party, giving an
Shout out
after
to Marco.
party.
Yeah.
One of the best DJs in the world for sure. Yeah.
Nice.
No, Guy J is amazing. Yeah, and
Nice.
yeah, like in the trance that in like sorry, in electronic music in general, not trance. Sorry, because he's coming from progressive, but um, trance also. You have Infected Mushroom. You have Vini Vici. Um, in
Vinny
all of like
Vici.
the organic house, you have Roy Rosenfeld, Guy J, Guy Mansur. You know, a bunch of big names, in like in all these industries. And
Nice. Nice. Man, I should have booked you for 2 hours because there's so much more stuff I want to ask you and talk to you
yeah,
about.
man.
I want to hear more about the differences between uh, uh, those places. So before, let's go ahead and take a couple more minutes to answer
Okay, sure.
that. Yeah.
Sure. So, um, so that's Israel. Like the majority of like let's say the jazz that is really happening is happening more in Tel Aviv. At least in my time that it was there. We're talking 16 years ago.
Uh huh.
It was very much centralized in Tel Aviv. There were clubs there, and people just got together. And now there's like a new place, Bet Mudim, it's called, and everybody's coming there and playing music, and it's a hang, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you have that, and I can say about myself that my experience was, listen, I love jazz and all that, but I'm not gonna play like I did that. I tried that the whole like playing as many standards as possible, like from the American Songbook, being like a jazz musician, you know, like a knowing songs by heart and playing like 400 like jazz songs or whatever it is, and just jamming with people the whole day doing that. I was more interested in composition. I was interested in like my piano, like to be able to write for piano, to be able to write in different genres, different things. And then when I went to New York, I realized that there in New York, it was, at least my experience was that it was very much everybody was pushing, you know, the envelope, like looking for something as exotic as possible,
Yeah.
and really like with this attitude of New York, you can't explain it. And of course, that was like 2009, 2010.
Mm-hmm.
For was a young kid, really, really young. I was sucked into a lot of distractions,
Yeah. We
and
all
you
were at that age. It's easy.
and it's yeah, and I mean the thing is that it was a long year, but it was very shaping. Like I met my best friend there. You know, we're still in contact. He's American,
Mm-hmm.
lives in Arizona now, and yeah, it's like without meeting him, like he's a big part of my life. You know, he's like extended family in
Mm-hmm.
that sense, and it's like without me going to the States and doing that, which is such a crazy karmic thing if you think about it, to go to such a faraway place, like a totally different continent.
I know
And
all
I
about
love
it.
the States. That's the thing. I love the States. Like the States is, you know, we were just talking about maybe moving. Like we don't know still, you know,
Right.
things are up in the air. But there the scene in New York, the thing is that it's also the best of in the world are there. You know, it's the place to be, like in terms of jazz, and like the drummers and the pianists, every single instrument was just, at some point I was just so overwhelmed by the level that I was like, I don't need to go back home and practice. I need to go back to Israel and practice. It's like this is like I need to I need to claim bankruptcy and go back to Israel, you know.
Right.
right to my scales. It was like insane. No, we would go like at some point with every gig we went to was just like this. How can you play on this level? Like
Right.
every it was at some point like the tap open or something, and I could just appreciate every single thing that was happening around me musically,
Sick.
and like the beauty of it. And then I had to go back to Israel because of visa stuff, and because I remember like sitting in the apartment where I was staying, and I could have stayed, it would have been interesting. I could have stayed there for, past my visa, and then I
Right.
would have to get married and or like figure it out.
Right.
And people around me were doing that. They
Yeah,
figured
of
out.
course.
And it's like I'm just like, okay, sure. They're like, and my friends were telling me, no, man, it's all good. Just go organize your stuff, and then you'll come back here in like 2 months. We'll see you again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like that's true. Like I was so connected to New York at that moment. I came back to Israel and I was like, what the fuck was I doing
Doing
there?
there. I don't
I
want to
was
go
like,
back.
dude, this is like New York. It's like New York is this beautiful woman, right? That you make love to her, and you feel her and everything, and just you get out of like this amazing lovemaking, and she just gave you chlamydia.
Right. That's
That's New York, man.
yeah.
That's fucking New York.
California is pretty much the same thing, but she also took your fucking wallet. She takes your wallet in California
New
too.
York, she takes your wallet and shoots you on the nuts.
Exactly.
So I'm saying like but in the sense of I think that like looking back at it now, knowing now that I migrated to Amsterdam afterwards, I was for 9 months in Israel, got organized myself, played a lot there actually in
Yeah.
Israel, formed a band, recorded an album, did everything in like 9 months, but I couldn't get out. I couldn't wait to get out of there. I just couldn't wait. I was like, I'm out of this place.
Yeah.
Especially after now it's not connected to anything what I'm saying connected to the situation right now. It just said for me it didn't fit. I
Yeah.
didn't like
No, I
the life.
understand.
Like it's not connected to anything political. It's just that I was like, I want to see the world and experience art,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like beyond the little place that I came from.
Me too.
And
That's
huh?
I said me too. That's a point I want to exclamate that you just made now. Seeing art from around the world. Um, I can
Absolutely.
only imagine I would love to be in a jazz cafe or a club in Israel to hear the jazz that you speak of right now. Just like
It's
some raw jazz, some musicians coming together. They don't even have to know each other. They just, have seen
yeah,
each other at the club
they
and
just
come
call
together.
out tunes,
I would I
They
would
call
kill
out
for
tunes.
that right now.
I'm telling you, if you go to Tel Aviv tonight you'll you'll get like a really really good show.
No shit.
And really, really top musicians. But that's the thing. The New York, I like traveling and seeing the world, and this, it just adds a layer, a dimension to your playing and to your music making. That through just staying in one place, only listening to records and playing with the same people, is not going to be beneficial in that
Right.
sense. It's like you got to go out there and do it. And then I went to Amsterdam, and the scene here is kind of like a culmination of, let's say, the Tel Aviv scene, but also a little bit of Jerusalem. It's like, and of course, it's not New York. Like New York is just everything happens there. It's you can't compare it. Amsterdam was much more inviting for me. It was like, and also I was in a school, and it's it took time because I was in a school. The bubble of the school was my life, and it took time for me to be able to get out of it, which eventually led to me taking different career paths within music. So I started to do a lot more of the Arabic music, and I started to get more involved in the Moroccan community here in Amsterdam, and to work with, let's say, the local organizations here that provide culture that are subsidized by the government. And that's when I started to really learn about like the ins and outs of orchestra managing, and how it works. And I worked with one orchestra, which
You
was
mean
the
from like a conductor standpoint, or just what do you mean
well,
orchestra
in the
management?
beginning, it was like I was just fascinated by how can you set something up like this? You know, you have like this amazing initiative that can just call out musicians, and there are salaries being paid,
Right.
and
Oh,
like
okay, I see what you mean. Like directing a film, so to speak.
exactly like directing. Well, it's more like you have a fixed place that you create. It's more like a production home. Let's call it like this. That if you think about it like with films, if you have this analogy there, so it's more like a studio in that sense. But like I'm talking about like an orchestra, really. Um, how do you make this? How do you build this type of structure? Like, what do you need here in the Netherlands to create an orchestra? And I learned it like I was in the beginning, like I worked with a oud player, Mohammed Addaf. He took me like, we toured in many, many places like North Africa, Asia, Europe. We toured and we played like a bunch of shows for 5 years. And then I went into the Andalusian Orchestra, and there we toured for about like 2.5 years. And then it came really in conjunction of just me wanting to leave the orchestra and like do something else. I didn't feel that I felt that I got, it ended my time and I wanted to do something else. And then a
Mhm.
different organization came into the picture and offered me a higher position than what I had with the other orchestra.
Fate came.
Exactly. So I was basically a pianist and an arranger with that other orchestra,
Hmm.
but then all of a sudden I was the artistic director, the conductor, the one that just
Wow.
it's like, and of course I was sharing it with someone else, but I was the end,
Right.
like artistically in that sense, but I didn't know anything about the finances and the management and this. So I had a boss in that sense, and we worked for about 3 years, 3+ years. Yeah, it was like 3.5 years. Yeah, and in conjunction also I did some other stuff for theater, and I started to get more into the commercial work of it. And there I really learned, about handling budgets, about putting musicians together, how to run the rehearsals, write like complex, the arrangements for orchestra, write it, run a team of arrangers, run programs, work with artists like from overseas, write the music for their production. It was amazingly exciting times, But again, um, the thing that I wanted more than anything was eventually to have my own project,
Right.
and I had to sacrifice that orchestra for me to be able to go after my own thing. Because to have a position and to have these, let's say, security and all that stuff, I wasn't charmed by it at some point. I was like, this is not this is not um what is gonna do that for me, like for the
Hmm.
rest. Like I could have done for another 10 or 15 years,
Right.
and there is no more room for me. I'm always gonna be like, it was like almost like an office job in
Hmm.
music.
Hmm.
The amount, and that's, again, this is my doing, also me taking so much on my shoulders. um I would have three productions happening at the same time, and I have to navigate and delegate everything. And I knew that things needed to start changing for me when I couldn't hear music being played anymore.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like it just, like my whole system was just going, I can't listen to this anymore. I need to like, it's just too much for me, like instruments,
Hmm.
because I've been listening to thousands of hours of just music constantly and arranging it and conducting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, this is what we call troubles of the rich, because I loved it in that time. It's just that at some point I wasn't fulfilled by this anymore.
Hmm.
I think that also things that happened within the orchestra, personal stuff that we had between us, it just didn't function anymore.
Right.
Couldn't function anymore. And I had to take my leave. And of course, I'm from Israel. And then October 7th came.
What's
The
that?
massacre happened by Hamas in Israel, and then it started the whole Gaza war. And, here we are. um, that had a big impact on my social life because a lot changed because of that. Because I left the orchestra on that day, not intended. It was just from it was a really crazy story. I just left the 7th of October is when I gave my notice. I didn't know that it will happen. Um, I left on that day, and then huh? It was my last gig with them. That's the thing. I
Wow.
had a last gig with them on 7th of October, and then right like when the whole huh? Yeah, exactly. So basically, the um, the war breaks. Like Hamas is invading Israel at
Mm-hmm.
like 6
Mm-hmm.
in the morning, and or 7 or 6 in the like morning. I open my, I open my socials and I see like, fucking, what is happening? Like, and I'm saying it. I open it like 9 or 10, not earlier, you know. And I see what is happening in Israel. Like invaded. People are like, what? They took towns. They burned. What are you? It's like, what
Right.
happened? Then I go to the gig and it's like war, and I hear like crazy stuff, and I see videos of the people running, and
No
the Hamas
shit.
execute people, and like all the GoPros and all this like horrible shit, that they were live streaming
Mm-hmm.
with the paragliders, and just horrible stuff. And I finished the gig, we come back home, and then the before even Israel made any comment on it, it just already started all the anti-Israel protests, and I saw people going towards it,
Right.
and it affected me like really harshly
I bet.
because of there was just the focus was really just about what is going to be the reaction, what are they going to do, and none of like what just happened,
Right. Right.
no compassion, no empathy. It was just immediately, what is Israel going to do? And that made me feel very isolated, and a lot of people very isolated when all the horrible stuff started to come out, the pictures and all the stuff, and the truths of what happened. It was just actually like horrendous stuff.
I bet. Hold that thought. I have to get into my next hour and do my next interview. Before I let you go, I
I,
do want to invite you to talk more
sure,
at some point.
sure, man.
I'd love to have you back and talk more, man, because you got so much stuff that I didn't even get to ask you that I want to ask you, like other people in the industry that you may look up to, stuff like that. So I'd love to talk to you more.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
before I let you go, socials, you want to give out your socials or anything like that,
Yeah,
where how can
sure.
people
It's my
contact you?
name, Avishai Darash. It's my name, as you can see it here. And I have my album Between Hope and Despair. I wrote it after my country changed completely. And after the 7th of October, I wrote this album, but now a new album in a couple of months is going to come out.
Mm-hmm.
So check me on socials, Avishai Darash, also on Spotify. The album just hit 500,000 streams, so it's like it's going good.
Very
And
nice.
check it.
I'm gonna promote it for you. I'm gonna try to go and get
Thank you.
some of
Thank
it
you.
and show people how to get it and download it and all of that
Awesome.
stuff.
Awesome.
No, I
Man, thank
appreciate your
you.
time, and I'll talk to you also through socials and see if we can get you back on when if maybe somebody cancels or something opens up. I would love to talk to you more.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Sounds good. Okay,
thanks
man.
again.
Hey, thanks, John.
No
Talk
problem.
soon.
Thanks again.